My staff job was in critical care. I left that behind to travel as a PCU step-down nurse. In this video, let's go through the 4 reasons why I made that decision. I'm Emma Pointer from TTT Nursing, travel nurse, author, and coach. I'm always releasing new content for travel nurses, so if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell to be notified when I post new content. I started critical care right out of nursing school. I worked in a teaching hospital at an ICU. When I started travel nursing, I decided to make the switch to progressive care, step down. Let's talk about why. So the number 1 and most important reason is experience. I felt fairly confident that I could handle progressive care patients. In my ICU, we frequently had overflows or patients that were ICU level of care who got downgraded to progressive care and hadn't been moved out. So I had experience caring for some patients who were more of a progressive level of care. And those are the patients that I felt super confident with my abilities in. That being said, I felt that if I really truly wanted to give the best care to my patients in an unfamiliar setting, like you have to do when you are a travel nurse, I would need a couple more years at a staff position, just where you have that support and where you're able to learn and grow. As a travel nurse, when you come in, they pretty much want you to know what you're doing and they don't want you to have to ask questions. So I was in the position and my level of experience where I felt like I wasn't asking questions on those routine progressive care patients. And really, I was handling like lower level ICU patients with super ease. It's just those really sick patients that kind of had me scared and made me not want to risk putting my nursing license on the line and also putting the safety of my patients on the line. So I decided to switch to progressive care because I knew that my experience would be adequate there. Reason number 2 is burnout. I was physically and emotionally exhausted from taking care of the sickest patients in the hospital. There's really no other way to put this. I needed a break. I needed a break from that high stress, high acuity ICU setting. This change has been perfect for providing me with that break. I feel rejuvenated. I'm able to talk to my patients because they're not so sick. And I'm just really able to connect and go back to the heart of nursing. Reason number 3 is diversification. I don't plan on spending a lot of time at the bedside, so I really want to get a chance to see what all the specialties are about, to get a lot of experience in a lot of different areas. I do not regret under any circumstances starting in critical care. I learned so much there, but it's definitely not my home. It's not my passion. However, I feel like now that I have a critical care background, it's really a great foundation for any kind of nursing that I plan on going into. I know what the sickest of the sick patients look like, and sometimes recognizing the abnormalities is half of the battle. ICU also taught me to be totally detail-oriented and totally meticulous in everything that I do as a nurse, and I think that's really helpful in any specialty. Side note, I'm thinking about making a video that goes through all the goals for my career and everything that I've done so far, so you guys can kind of see my process and how I ended up here as a travel nurse talking to you guys and what I plan on doing in the future. If that's something you'd be interested in, write career in the comments below to let me know. All right, back to it. Reason number 4, different hospital protocols. This is so huge in critical care, because every hospital you go to is going to have a different set of protocols, right? In critical care, it seems to be that everything is in super speed. Everything is an emergency, otherwise they wouldn't need to be in critical care. So with patients like this, you really truly don't have time to go to the computer and type in the policy and search for it and read through it and understand it. It's kind of like a you have to know what to do or people are gonna die kind of thing. So I was just super uncomfortable with the thought of this. I felt that in progressive care, you know, there's still going to be emergencies. You can't predict everything in healthcare. But most of the time, most of my basic care is going to be a little less on hyperspeed. And the good thing about progressive care is you do have your ICU nurses at that hospital as a resource too. So for example, at the specific hospital that I'm at, they have what's called a rapid response. If something goes bad, if you have to do a bunch of things very quickly, that critical care nurse is going to come and they're going to be there as a resource for you. And you'll be able to do the task that you know how to do, and they'll be able to run the show and tell you the protocol and take you through everything that's specific to the facility. That being said, as a travel nurse, protocols are so important because if you don't stick to the protocol, you really have no reason to back up the things that you did. So as a travel nurse, I always try to look up the protocols for something that I do before I do it, if I know that it's something that a lot of hospitals have different protocols for. A good example of this is like everything blood sugar related, everything insulin related. Knowing the specific hospital policy for things like that are very important, because if something bad happens, you want that hospital policy there to be able to back you up. So that's it. That is why I don't travel as a critical care nurse. I honestly, truly cannot say that I miss it. I enjoy my job a lot more when I'm able to talk to my patients and when I'm able to truly connect with them and interact with them. In the ICU, I felt like most of my patients were on ventilators, they were sedated, everyone was sad. Being in the ICU is not a fun time. It's the worst day of your life usually. When your family's in the ICU, you're not having a fun time. It's the worst day of your life. It's a different environment. Progressive care has provided me with a little bit of a break, I think, but I'm not saying I'll never go back to critical care. It's exciting, it's rewarding in its own way, and maybe someday I will miss it. So what are your thoughts on this? What specialty do you plan on traveling in? Let me know in the comments below. Are you wanting to get into travel nursing but not sure where to start? Check out my ebook on Amazon where I walk you through step by step. You can go through at your own pace and you can learn everything you need to know about starting to be a travel nurse. I'll put the link in the description below. Also, consider joining our exclusive Facebook group, TTT Nursing, where you can get free coaching from me, post questions, interact with other aspiring travel nurses, and just have a good time. I look forward to seeing you there.